Hey everyone, I have to take a moment and respond to some statements made on this show a couple weeks ago when I was not present. Now, I don't listen to this program. I've never had to listen to my own podcast. I'm not terribly sure what it's about. All of this percolated down to me through the hate messages I received from the weepy woke people, Identity Europa members, sexual offenders, and other such individuals who contact us. And that gave me the gist of what you creatures have said. And I feel that I must set the record straight. First off, allow me to settle this trivial controversy. Yes, it is wrong to have children. I've explained this many times. Imagine if I built a robot capable of feeling pain, and then I told it I'm going to unplug it in 70 minutes, and then I set it on fire. It would be wheeling around in circles, flailing its flanges, going, why, error. And now that'd be funny, and we'd all be laughing, of course, but I've still done a bad thing. Don't have children. It has nothing to do with climate change. It has nothing to do with the Jacobin articles by people who fucked up and had kids and are trying to delude you all into thinking they didn't fuck up, which we all know they did. We all think that. Evidence, we don't have kids. There you go. Primary arguments for having kids, I'm bored. I'm ready for the next stage in life. I want to watch something learn about dandelions and ethnic cleansing. I'm aging and I've given up on all my dreams, so I have to offload them onto someone else in a desperate bid for immortality. These are all maudlin, selfish reasons for bringing life into existence. You might be thinking, oh, I can program my child to feel happiness. Well, guess what, Amelie? You can devote your resources right now to those who are suffering in poverty, to organizations, as imperfect as they are, that can direct your excess income towards social justice, political change. And if your only ethical imperative is to create joy, you can do that by putting LSD in your boss's coffee. Ideally, we would forge a global agreement to no longer have children and to use the surplus resources that would otherwise be squandered on child rearing to the development of labor-saving automatons. The devices powered by these resources could drive our vehicles, conduct surgeries, have sex with us, and otherwise increase our quality of life.
And we programmed them to feel pain.
Well, of course we would. I mean, that'd be funny. To conclude my first point, no moral reason to have a kid, no ethical reason to have a kid, no logical reason to have a kid. One exception. If you're in a relationship that's on the rocks and you want to try to keep it going, maybe having a kid will do the trick. That's worth a shot. Number two, you live in a dying world. Any rational person would conclude that the situation you're in is hopeless. Should you feel joy? Obviously, it's easy for me to answer this question. I'm with the half of my colleagues who used to have a low standard of living. I grew up on a fixed income, used to take advantage of various welfare programs. Other half, potty trained on Golden Thrones, went to the same fancy lad Westchester High School where the boys' room stall had AOC's phone number scrawled on the wall in Latin. Will knows. He's laughing because he knows. But now I'm doing great. Some of my debts are paid off. I have a lot of legendary skins, and I'm experiencing ego death weekly. Yet I recognize that in the absence of systemic change, what we might even call revolutionary change, all of that is trivial and transient. The neighborhood I'm standing in will fall underwater, et cetera, et cetera. So should I feel happy about that? Answer, yes, because I'm spending the podcast money on drugs that enable me to peer behind the curtain of reality and gain insights from the spirit realm, which I then deliver to you. And by the time the IRS realizes that's not a valid business expense, we'll all be dead. As for you, the anxious and self-conscious listener of my words, I permit you to feel joy 25% of your day. A regular person sleeps about 8 hours a day, so combined with that, you're spending 50% of your time alive on Earth in bliss. That's a square deal. In closing, that should solve all your issues. It's rather cheap to get an IUD or a vasectomy, although these are not publicly funded as they ought to be. Ohio has just passed a 6-week abortion ban, which stands to be upheld by the far right-wing high court majority who hold the balance of power over your body, in which case, if you're a feminist, like me, you should make yourself aware of which kitchen implements can slice through bone for when society breaks down. That's all I wanted to say. Don't let me otherwise interrupt the Little Lord Fauntleroy Socialist Autarky Roleplay Hour. DJ, let's hear that drop.
Okay. Formal rebuttal to one Virgil, Texas. The word children comes from two Greek words. Chilios, which means cold, and dren, which is a guy with a cold saying den. Through this, we can see that creating progeny is a cold cave. Cave is the root word for the English word comfort. So we can see that it's a cold comfort. To have a kid is to imbue them with the name of whatever fandom you have. You want to name your kid Lannister? Go ahead. You want to name your kid Deep Space Nine? You want to name your kid Porgo?
I do.
You want to name your kid The Matrix? Do you want to make your kid dress up in an Assassin's Creed outfit every day? You can do it. But the most important part about having a kid, especially if you're a politically active adult, like everyone who listens to this show, who, most of whom not in danger of having kids, not because they're not sexually active, but because they stick condoms down their urethras. They don't know how to put them on. They've never successfully applied them. They just stick them down their urethras. They eat female condoms because that's how they think it works. Because they're trying to be male feminists. They just swallow them whole. This is one of the lowest IQ listenerships of any show. But to have a kid is to have a device you can use to win an argument. Are you arguing with someone about some just fucking indecipherable like internal drama in whatever left organization you're in? Hey, be like, I have a kid and I don't want to raise him in a world where, bylaw 562 exists. Well, that person that you're arguing with is going to be afraid that you're going to kill your kid if they pass that bylaw. Boom, problem solved. Having an argument about fandom, who do you think knows more about X-Men Days of the Past in front of us? Do you think it's just the dumbass, or do you think it's the guy who named his daughter Dark Phoenix Neo? So not only is it all right to have kids, it's the most moral thing you can do. Don't drop that beat. Let's hear some Mozart for a change.
This has been Firing Line.
I don't know what I believe anymore, but there's much to think about. That's for sure.
Will, in Assassin's Creed, you sit in a special chair and you access the memories that are left in your dad's cum by putting on a robe and jumping into hay. Do you think the game of Assassin's Creed would be possible if people didn't have kids? No.
I'm so confused. I don't know what to do. Should I have a child?
You should probably have like 3, because what if one dies?
That's a good point.
And then,
the other one's
one of them, just like I'm doing the math here. One of them is going to be like deeply affected by their sibling dying. So that basically a wasted kid as well. You got 2 wasted kids. One of them is going to be pretty resilient. That's why the Bushes had like 7 kids, despite being rich.
Put one of them on a jar.
You know what's even more fun to dress up as your favorite fandom? Little kitty cat.
All right.
Imagine a little kitty cat dressed up like SJW Star Wars.
That's true. It's pretty good. It's pretty good when a cat puts on like Boba Fett's hat. I like that a lot. It's pretty fun. It's like, hey, little guy, I hope there's no catnip in space.
Well, regardless of where you come down on this issue, I think we can all agree on one thing, is that you should make pretty much all major life decisions based on what we tell you to do.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.